After a certain point, I really feel like the shills have to come out and admit that we were right for a lot of these things. And they never will. I wish they did, but they never do, right? Ubisoft just recently came out and admitted, because they have their earnings call coming up soon and they can't lie all of it through. They just recently admitted that the sales have been softer than expected when it comes to Star Wars Outlaws. And apparently, they are slashing their net expected bookings by 30%.
That's a lot of damage. How about a little more?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Ubisoft's Star Wars Outlaws was such a massive financial failure that they are now going to slash their expected bookings by 30%. This is not a small number in the slightest, and it goes against the narrative that all the shills have out there on Twitter, on YouTube, and everything under the sun, where they're trying to pretend as if everybody's playing Star Wars Outlaws. This game is super successful. It's just people hating on it. They don't want to admit that it's a good game, blah, 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 whatever. Well, apparently that is not the case. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Again, guys, 30% net booking. That is insanity from just one particular game. And you gotta imagine this is probably why they delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows, because let's be real, they could not afford to have two L's in a singular year. If they were to have two of these games release in the same year and flop so damn bad after convincing their investors that these two games were going to be the savior of Ubisoft, they promise everything is going to go fine. Pre-orders are looking good. The sentiment around the game is positive. All the typical lies that they always tell when it comes to games like this, it always is proven to be a lie. And how many times do we need before we realize that it's always them lying, because they cannot help themselves? It says Ubisoft admitted that sales of Star Wars Outlaws are softer than expected. I love the terminology, softer than expected. I mean, that is good. That is damn good, softer than expected. That just proves that they'll try to make anything sound good. In a document providing new financial targets for the 2024-25 year, Ubisoft drastically cut its net bookings projections from 500 million to 350 to 370 million. The company explains the main reason for their net bookings being cut by up to 30% is a reflection of decisions taken for Assassin's Creed Shadows and the softer than expected launch for Star Wars Outlaws. So what it seems to me is that they're going to be investing more money into development time for Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is obviously going to take a lot of money from them. And then Star Wars Outlaws was also a massive failure, so that's also going to take a lot of money from them. Guys, to go from 500 million to 350, 370, that is not small, okay? That is not fucking small. That is a massive decrease in net bookings. And the fact of the matter is, it's only going to get worse. Sure, they delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows. Obviously, it's releasing in Black History Month next year for the virtue signal to be maximum. But at the end of the day, man, you're only delaying the inevitable. Like, everybody knows that Assassin's Creed Shadows is not going to end very well for Ubisoft, and they're trying to delay it. They're trying to spin it into this thing where, oh, it needs more development time. We're going to make it better, blah, 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 whatever. Nobody's believing you. And the reason why is because people have lost faith in Ubisoft. And that's the bad thing, right? Their reputation has tanked. Faith in the company has tanked. Nobody wants to give Ubisoft the benefit of the doubt. They're not a company that even deserves the benefit of the doubt. They haven't proven it. They haven't earned it. And they want you to automatically give it to them without earning it. That's not how this works. They are absolutely hurting for money. And we knew that when we talked about it in our videos talking about their stock price and everything like that. There's no way that you can be that low on a stock price. You could be one of the lowest traded video game companies out there, if not the lowest traded video game company out there, and expect anybody to take you seriously, regardless of whatever you release. Everybody's going to be looking at you wondering, when are you going to go back to the real Ubisoft? When are you going to go back to making some damn good games? Stuff that's actually runnable on day one, that's not fucking broken like Star Wars Outlaws. And I think that's what they meant. I think what ended up happening was they realized that by releasing Star Wars Outlaws in such a broken state, that they couldn't do the same thing with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I guarantee you they were probably going to try. They were probably going to try. I would almost guarantee you that they were going to release Assassin's Creed Shadows in a similar state that Star Wars Outlaws got released and hope for the best, right? They're just hoping that people are going to buy it just because it's an Assassin's Creed game, which, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people out there that will do that, but they're just banking on everybody doing that. And that's not the case, man. That's not going to happen. The company announced that it was delaying Assassin's Creed Shadows to February of 2025. Ubisoft then reiterated that sales for Star Wars Outlaws were not good. The company shared, despite solid ratings, Metacritic 76, and user scores across the first-party and Epic stores 3.9 out of 5. That's not really that solid, though. I'm just being honest with you. For a AAA game, especially something based in the Star Wars universe, 76 is not that great. I figure 80 plus would be about where you should be, but you're clearly not. That reflected immersive and authentic Star Wars universe. Star Wars Outlaws initial sales proved softer than expected. The company's main goal to fix this is to seemingly debug the game before Christmas. In response to player feedback, Ubisoft's development teams are currently fully mobilized to swiftly implement a series of updates to polish and improve the player experience in order to engage a large audience during the holiday season to position Star Wars Outlaws as a strong long-term performer. I hope you guys understand something. If you were able to mobilize, right, your development team and make everything fixed within a couple of months, why the fuck did you release the game in such a broken state? What is the purpose of that? What is the reason for that, right? Like we all know it. I'm just asking rhetorical questions, right? If you can mobilize your entire team and fix all this shit before Christmas, then why didn't you just do this before you released the game? I don't understand. First impressions are extremely important. First impressions are everything, especially when it comes to video games or entertainment as a whole. First impressions really go a long way to solidify interest in whatever the hell you might be working on. And in this case, it happens to be a video game. You botched that, right? You botched that with your terrible trailers. You botched that with your gameplay trailers. And then whoever did actually buy the game, you botched it by giving them a broken fucking game. Your reputation is in the mud, man. This is what Ubisoft doesn't understand. Ubisoft needs to work on fixing their reputation, because if they do not fix their reputation, then it's not going to end well for them no matter what they come out with. It says Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot also commented, "Our second quarter performance fell short of our expectations, prompting us to address this swiftly and firmly with an even greater focus on player-centric gameplay first approach and an unwavering commitment to the long-term value of our brands." He also announced the company's plans to launch a review. Beyond the first important short-term actions undertaken, the executive committee, under the supervision of the board of directors, is launching a review aimed at further improving our execution, notably in this player-centric approach, and accelerating our strategic path towards a higher performing model to the benefit of our stakeholders and shareholders. Yeah, so clearly you guys have your shareholders in mind, right? When you're doing all this dumb shit with their money, with their DEI and ESG garbage, yeah, you clearly have your investors in mind. Sure. So again, guys, this is the same bullshit answers that we've been getting from the Guillemots for a while now, right? These guys have been running Ubisoft for a long time, and they were around when Ubisoft was great, and they're around now when Ubisoft's about to die. And it's unfortunate because they probably listened to one too many bad companies, one too many bad consultants, made one too many bad business moves, and it's going to end up screwing them over. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate if you could like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.